So, fundamental number 5 of evolution mentoring is identifying who are your people. So, human beings are social beings. We need social contact. At a certain point, deprived of social connection is going to affect our mental health, our physical health, our emotional health. Like, we need to have social contact. But depending on how much of an introvert or an extrovert you are, it's going to determine how much of it you need and with whom. And there's a mistake that many people make about the idea of introvert and extrovert is that they think somehow it has to do with how outgoing you are or how timid you are. But it's actually not about that at all. Introverts and extroverts, looking at them from the outside, can look very much the same. The difference is how much contact they need with people, how many people they like to be around, how often. So the more extroverted, the more contact they're going to want with people. The more people they're going to want to be around, the more frequent they're going to want to be around people. I always joke about like some of my people in my life who are the high extroverts are always the first one to the party and the last one to leave. The more of an introvert you are, because it really is a continuum, it's a scale, is they're going to still need social contact, but generally they're going to prefer fewer people, closer connections with people, but they may still want just as much time. It's just how many people. So everybody needs this stuff. One of the other things that it's really important to talk about in terms of finding who are your people is the seductiveness of popularity, especially when people are young. There's this idea that if they were just popular, that somehow their social problems would go away. And popularity tends to equate with how many people know you, how visible you are in the world. So it's about quantity. But there's a different type of popularity, which is one that evolution mentoring is actually quite in favor of, okay? Which is about exclusivity. It's like, are you popular inside of a specific crowd of people? And how do you identify who those people are? Because it may be a small select group of people that the world knows very little about, but you could become a very popular player in that space and it can make a huge impact on the quality of your life. But ultimately, deep personal satisfaction, the kind that's going to just really put you at ease and allow you to just feel like your life is complete, is always about quality. That picture there in the middle is actually a picture of me as a teenager. That's me with the red and white shirt. God, I had a lot of hair back then. And I was 16 back there, and all three of those guys, my best friends at that age, are still my best friends now that I'm in my 50s. I was in all of their weddings, and they were in mine. That's about quality. That's about depth of connection. And identifying who are your people is really becoming clear about what role will they play in your life, because there's different roles that people play in your life. There's people who are going to be a coach in your life, people who are going to be in your personal life as your friends. They're going to be advisors to you. You're going to have professional contacts, like who are you going to work with or work for one day, who's going to be project partners for you, whether it's in school or for some other project that you're doing in the work environment. If you're on a team, who's going to be your teammates. And you may choose people for different reasons. There may be people who are going to be a teammate with, that you'd pick first, so to speak, in the old proverbial, like, we're picking teams. Maybe somebody that you would never want to hang out in your personal life, but you want them on your team for other reasons because they're going to help you win. So it's really being clear what role people are playing. And then there's always, like in my own personal life, in my professional life, which are very much intermixed, people look for me as like, am I the right mentor for them? Just as I'm building and building relationships with new clients is really for me determining, are you the right people for me given the work that I do? So you really have to become clear, what role are people going to play? And when it comes to really choosing who are your people, there's many reasons why you might choose somebody. And let's just look at, for example, in this case, people you want to become close personal friends with. Lots of different things that you can look at. What are their values? What are their interests? How important is that to you that you share interests in common? What about lifestyle? There's some people who want close friends who are very spontaneous and always want to be up for an adventure and go places. And other people prefer people whose lifestyle is much more chill and laid back, where they just want to kind of hang out, and sit outside and just not do much. How available are people? How reliable are they? What's their personality like? What are their priorities in life? And you have to find your people are going to be ones who match what your values, interests, lifestyle, availability, reliability, personality, your priorities are. The more closely they align with these things, the more likely they are to become the kind of people who you can have the close kind of friendships with that will become deeply satisfying. So part of evolution mentoring is you have to learn to identify and connect with your people. You have to be able to move through the world and be able to recognize, oh, that's the kind of person that I want to connect with. That's the kind of person that I could form a close friendship with that would be really satisfying to me. Or that's the kind of person I want to do a project with. And not only do you have to learn to identify and connect with them, but you also have to learn to make yourself visible to your people. You have to become the kind of person that they see you and meet you and they recognize, oh, you're one of us. You're what I'm looking for. So human beings are social beings and we need social contact, and who we connect with matters. I go into this in great depth in my mentor course, the Relationship and Connection Mentor course. And I'm giving you a little brief overview of it right now because a huge piece of evolution mentoring is really coming to find your people. And in order to find your people, it begins with fundamental number 5, which is be able to answer the question, who are your people?